Okay, so this comment says that they thought that having multiple characters of the same element in their party was a bad thing. So I wanted to do a video talking about elemental resonances. Okay, so in this video, I'm actually only going to talk about 3. I talked about all of them, and it was going to be like 14 minutes long. So I want to divide it up into 2 parts. So in this one, we're going to talk about Anemo, we're going to talk about Geo, we're going to talk about Electro, and Dendros. So we are going to go in the order of the nations, starting with Anemo, ending with Cryo. So first we're going to do Anemo, and for that we are going to be using Gene and Anemo Traveler. Yes, having the different elements on the Traveler does fit into the resonance. So we need at least 2 of each element to get the resonance. So first is Anemo. Impetus Wind. I don't know if I'm going to remember to say the name every single time. Decreases stamina consumption by 15%, increases movement speed by 10%, and shortens cooldown, skill cooldown by 5%. This isn't that great of one. Like, it's all right, and it's one that, because it's going to be better for the overworld than it is for really anything else. The shortens the skill cooldown can be good for some characters, specifically like Child, but 5% isn't going to make a huge difference anyway. So on a scale of 1 to 10, which I just decided that I'm going to do right now for each resonance, 0 being it doesn't help you at all, 10 being it helps you a ton, I'm going to give it like a 3 because it really only helps you in the overworld or in like a really, really niche situation, but the skill cooldown isn't a lot. So it's not going to help you a ton. So I'm going to give it a 3. None of these are technically going to hurt you, so there's not going to be anything below a 0. So next we are going to do Geo Resonance, and for that we are going to have Ningguang and Navia. Now, this one is called Enduring Rock. Increases shield strength by 15%. Additionally, characters protected by a shield will have the following special characteristics. Damage dealt is increased by 15%, and dealing damage to enemies will decrease their geo resistance by 20% for 15 seconds. I'm going to give this one like a 7 or 8 out of 10 because, especially with Navia, especially with having a very good on-field damage geo character, sorry, Ito and Noel, this can be very, very good, not necessarily in a pure mono geo team, but if you have a lot of shields being produced, you can keep up the second one, the second part of this resonance all the time. You can have it going all the time, meaning that you're just going to be dealing an extra 15% damage across the board, and you're going to be dealing more damage specifically with geo characters because their resistance is dropped. There are not many ways to drop geo resistance for enemies, and this is one of them. So I'm going to give this one a 7 or 8 out of 10. Probably with Navia, it's much higher than that, probably closer to like a 9 or a 10. Specifically for like Navia, because this is really, really good for her. And on-field damage Ningguang. Ningguang can take full use of this as well. Next, we're going to be looking at Electro Resonance, and for this, we're going to have Raiden and Sara. This is called High Voltage, affected by Hydro for 40% less. Now we're getting into the auras, or auras affecting your characters less. Superconduct Overloaded, Electrocharge, Quicken, Aggravate, or Hyperbloom. Have a 100% chance of generating an electro elemental particle with a cooldown of 5 seconds. I'm going to give this one more like a 3 or 4. Electro Resonance isn't that great. It does allow you to have a little bit more energy going around, but all in all, this one is not that good. It would have been much better if it increased electro damage or something like that, but because it just gives a little bit more energy, it's not that great. Especially using somebody like Raiden, where Raiden is battering her whole team for you. This isn't that good of one. Now, it can be good for like Beto, because Beto is energy hungry, and if you are using Beto in a team, you're probably not going to be using Raiden with her. You're going to be using like Fischl to battery Beto. So this can be better for Beto, nowhere near as good for Raiden. I'm going to keep it at like a 3 for this one. Next, we're going to have Dendro Resonance, and for that, we're going to have Yao Yao and Nikita. Now, Dendro Resonance, Sprawling Greenery. Elemental Mastery is increased by 50. After triggering Burning, Quicken, or Bloom reactions, all nearby party members, meaning everybody, gets an increase in Elemental Mastery of 30 for 6 seconds. Triggering Aggravate, Spread, Hyperbloom, or Burgeon reactions, everybody gains another 20 Elemental Mastery for 6 seconds. Each one of those are counted individually. Now, this is going to easily be a 10 out of 10 because Elemental Mastery is so good, especially for Dendro reactions. And because you are almost guaranteed to have the extra total of 100 Elemental Mastery, because to have Aggravate and Spread, you have to first cause Quicken. So you have to cause Quicken, getting you 30, and then after that, you'll be causing Aggravate and Spread, getting you another 20. Same thing with the Bloom. You have to cause Bloom before you can cause Same thing with Hyperbloom and Burgeon. You have to cause Bloom before you can create Hyperbloom and Burgeon. So again, it's just going to always have an extra 100 Elemental Mastery given to all of your characters. This is really, really, really good. Even in just like a pure Bountiful Core Bloom team where you're only going to be getting an extra 80, that can still be very, very good because all of these reactions get way stronger with Elemental Mastery. So this is easily going to be a 10 out of 10. That is going to be it for this video. If you have any questions, do be sure to leave it in the comments and I will see you in the next one.